Hey golf fans, this is early 1981 and welcome back to the channel. Now, I know a lot of you guys are missing fairways and greens in regulation. So hopefully this video is going to help you hit more fairways, hit more greens, and just have a more enjoyable experience out on the course in this fantastic game. If you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button. I have actually got a video out there showing you how to hit more fairways and greens in regulation, but this video is going to focus on the clubs, and the best clubs I do believe are available to us to hit more fairways and greens in regulation. So let's have a look at what I have in the bag. To tee things off, we are going to be looking at the driver. Now I am going with a 10.5 degree loft driver here, and it is the tailor-made Sim Max. Now these clubs are used by many of the top pros, including Tiger Woods, DJ, Dustin Johnson and Rory McIlroy. Now let's have a look at the stats. The distance bar on the right hand side, that focuses on how far the ball will travel. So as you can see, it's past 3/4, it's up there. Shot shaping focuses on the fade and the draw. It's not a great club for fade and draw, but if like me, I don't really think the fade and the draw off the tee box is a priority. You can use the wind, adjust to the wind. One of the most important factors of this club is the forgiveness. Now the forgiveness represents the swing timing bar, so the higher the stats for the forgiveness, the bigger your meter is. And I think in this game, timing is the big thing. So it gives you a little bit of leeway. If you hit a fast or a slow, this club is more forgiving. Swing plane represents how straight you can swing within the swing line bar. For a driver, that stat is pretty good as well. And obviously distance control, which is just past the halfway. Distance control is your loft and de-loft. It's not a huge feature you are going to use off the tee box. I mean, if you had a tailwind, you may loft the driver up to hang it up in the air and get more distance. And if you are hitting into a headwind, you may want to de-loft the club, keep it lower. So that function is great. So there you go, guys. That is my opinion, the best driver that you can use to find more fairways. It's certainly forgiving, and the distance stats on it is good. Now sadly you don't have a 2-wood option in this game, but let's show you what I am carrying in the bag as a 3-wood. Now I am using the Callaway Maverick Standard. Now this is the 3-wood. You do have options here. We'll show you can go 5-wood or 3-wood. I did decide to go with a 3-wood. Now the Callaway Maverick Standard, once again distance is good. This carries 223 yards. Shot shaping is pretty good as well for a 3-wood. But the main thing once again is the forgiveness. Now the forgiveness stats in this are very, very high for a 3-wood. And like we said earlier, the forgiveness stat focuses on your timing. So if you're slightly out of the perfect with a fast or a slow, it is going to give you a bit of forgiveness. Swing plane in this is absolute fantastic as well. As we know, the swing plane is your swing line, how accurate you can swing straight. And the distance control, which on a 3-wood isn't a huge issue, is actually not bad, okay? So you can comfortably loft and de-loft this club. So that is the woods I am carrying. I also do carry a 5-wood, which I think is an absolute phenomenal club in this game, and we have went back to the tailor-made Sim Max. Let's have a look at the 5-wood. So as you can see here, the 5-wood carries 204 yards, so I don't have a huge gulf in yardage. This carries 204 yards, but it runs out depending on the firmness of fairways or greens. I would say an average of about 220, 225 yards depending on the wind. But the distance is good. Shot shaping, which is not hugely important in the game yet at the stage we're at, is not bad. But once again, look at that forgiveness and swing plane. For me, that is the main priority, and that is one of the reasons I am carrying that TaylorMade Sim Max in the bag. Now let's move on to the hybrids that I do carry. Now for me, the hybrids are such an important club in the game. From fairways to light rough, even to heavy rough, it really does help you out, get out of tricky situations. Seeing as we don't have the punch shot in the game no more. So let's have a look at this free hybrid. Once again, I am sticking with a TaylorMade Sim Max. You do have options. You've got the 3 hybrid or the 4 hybrid. I am carrying both. So the 3 hybrid carries 195 yards. Distance stats are good for a hybrid. It's a fairly long hitting hybrid. Shot shaping is very good on this. So if you do want to draw or fade shots with this club, it's fairly achievable. But for me, once again, I keep saying this, look at the forgiveness stats, swing plane and the distance control. With this club, it is absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend anyone to use this club. We are now going to look at the second hybrid I am carrying, and that is the 4 hybrid. And yep, you've guessed it, it is going to be the TaylorMade Sim Max. Like I say, the top pros use these clubs, Tiger Woods, Dustin and Rory. And the 4 hybrid carries 187 yards, but as you can see, once again with the stats, distance is good, shot shaping is good, forgiveness is fantastic, and like I say in this game, it's all about your swing timing. And with this club, if you don't hit a perfect, you do have quite a large margin for error with slows and fasts. It's not really going to affect your shot if you're just out with the perfect. So let's get on to the irons, guys. But if you have a look at my yardage, I don't really have huge gaps in any of the yardage stats. You could say early you're not carrying a 9 iron and you've got a huge gap from the 8 iron 142 yards to your 50 degree pitch and wedge at 116 yards, but we'll focus on that. But I am carrying or using the Bridgestone irons, guys. I think they're absolutely fantastic. It is the Bridgestone Golf Tour B GR HF2 brand, and the Bridgestone clubs are used on the PGA Tour by guys like Tiger Woods, Bryson DeChambeau and Matt Kuchar. One of the better brands in the game and the new life on the tour. But let's have a look at the stats here. So I'm using the 5 iron. Distance is probably about average. Shot shaping is not great, okay, but I'm not at a stage at this game where I'm going to use a lot of draws and fades. I'm just using the wind, focusing on hitting greens, focusing on hitting fairways. But look at the forgiveness, guys. They are the most forgiving iron in the game. I've not got every iron unlocked, but for me, these clubs have changed my game with the forgiveness plane. Remember, your forgiveness is your timing bar. You will see an increase in that timing bar with this forgiveness. Swing plane's not bad either. Swing planes, keep saying it, touching upon it, is how straight you swing. And the distance control is very, very good, so you can loft or de-loft these clubs very successfully. We are sticking with the Bridgestone irons, and I do carry the 6 iron. But once again, exact same stats. Distance is good. Shot shaping's not great. There is better irons out there for the shot shaping, but for the forgiveness and the swing plane combination, these are the best clubs available to us on the irons. I do stick with the Bridgestone for the 7 iron, and I do stay with the Bridgestone for the 8 iron. Now, this is what I'm saying. This is where you're now going to see the gap from the 8 iron to the 56 degree pitch and wedge. I don't carry a 9 iron, but let's have a look at these pitch and wedges. Some of you may say, Early, what are you doing? That's one of the earlier clubs that you have access to in the game, and that's my whole point. Okay, as we can see, I've not unlocked a lot. I can buy a lot of wedges, but for me, these are the best all-round wedges that I have come across so far, and they are the golf club brand, and the model is TGC CV Master. Now let's have a look at the stats here. I am using the 56 degree wedge. They go 116 yards. Sorry, let me get back onto the stats. Now, as you can see here, the distance isn't great, but when you're close to the green, distance isn't really a factor. But look at the forgiveness here, guys, okay? That, for me, if you're struggling with pitch shots like I am, I find the pitch shots so random. Look at the forgiveness, the swing plane, and the distance control. That is what's hugely important for me in your shot game, is my forgiveness. So if I'm hitting fasts or slows, this club is very forgiving. Look at the swing plane as well. If I'm not swinging straight, which I'm not, this is going to give me a lot of margin for error. The distance control for the loft and de-loft is absolute fantastic, and that's what I said to you about the gap. I can de-loft this club to bridge the gap between the 8 iron and my 56 degree, which is basically about 20 odd yards. Up next we do have the 52 degree gap wedge, and we are sticking with the golf club brand, the TGC CV Master. And once again, just look at the forgiveness bar and the swing plane and the distance control. I don't need to say anything other than look at the visual stats. Very little gap between my pitch and wedge and my gap wedge. Then up next is the 58 degree sand wedge. We are sticking with the we are sticking with the golf club brand, exact same model, TGC CV Master. Once again, just look at the forgiveness, swing plane, and distance control. Last but not least, guys, we do have the 48 degree lob wedge, and I think this is such an important club to carry. Same club, same brand, shot shaping isn't the greatest, but who's going to be playing draw and fade shots on your short game? But look at the forgiveness, swing plane, and distance control. But let's look at the yardage of this club. Like I say, it is the 48 degree, 82 yards. Now, when I fully loft this club up, depending on the wind, and if I apply the backspin, which is fairly achievable with the distance control, the forgiveness, and the swing plane with a combination of all three, I'm probably carrying and spinning back 69 to 70 yards, all dependent on the wind. Remember, that would be in low wind conditions. So if you are struggling with pitch shots, you can execute a full lob wedge into the greens for that distance. And that's why I think that club is such an important club to have in the bag. And up last, guys, the putter. Now, the putting doesn't do anything, okay? You could have any putter in the game. It doesn't improve your stats. It doesn't improve your putting. But for me, visually, we'll just look at it. This club is really, really nice. It doesn't catch my eye too much. It's not big and chunky like some of the clubs. Where are we? And it is the Wilson Grant Park. Very cheap to buy, but just visually it doesn't distract me. But there we go, guys. That is the clubs that I fully recommend any player to use. Obviously your driver, depending on the course you're playing or how well you're playing, you can customize that and you can say, right, I'm going to go for a longer driver today. Obviously it's going to be more punishing, but I do highly recommend this club set, guys, and I'm sure with time using these clubs you will start to find more fairways and greens in regulation, and with that your scores will improve, and as will your handicap. I really hope this video helped you out, guys. If it did and you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. But that is it for today, and until the next video, take care, peace out, and love you all. Bye.